Hi again, class. This is Mrs. Stokes again, teaching you all about our coins. So far we've already learned about the penny and the nickel and the dime. Now we're going to learn about the biggest coin that we're going to be learning about, and that is the quarter. Now, the quarter that I have is kind of a silly quarter because it doesn't have the front. It only shows the back. But you can see that on the back of the quarter there is the eagle, which is a symbol of our nation. It is our national bird, which we're very lucky to see lots of eagles in Alaska. And I'm going to see if I can hold this up really close. Oh, I have it upside down. Let me turn it. Okay, I'm going to hold this really close to my camera so you can see. There is a person on this coin as well. And this person is our very first president of the United States, and his name is George Washington. George Washington was a very important leader of our country, and some even call him the father of our country, because he was one of the generals that led our nation to victory in its battle against England and the king when our country was very brand new. And so he was a very, very, very important leader in our country. And if you go back to our capital, Washington, D.C., I wonder who it was named after. If you go back to Washington, D.C., you will find a lot of monuments and special things that have been built in his honor, including the Washington Memorial, and you can also go and visit his house. He was another one of those people that gave their houses a name, and the name of his house was Mount Vernon. So George Washington was a very important person, and so he is on the quarter because he was so important to our nation. Now the quarter is a little bit tricky because it's worth 25 cents. And I have not taught you how to count by 25s. That's a little bit tricky. And so if we had 4 quarters, I'm not going to do 5 because 5 would be a little bit tricky. I just have to remember that 1 quarter is 25, 2 quarters is 50, 3 quarters is 75, and 4 quarters is a whole dollar. So if I had 4 quarters, I could trade it in for a $1 bill, which is really important when you get a little bit older and you start using a lot of money in your daily lives. So I have a poem that I'm sure you've been very excited to learn about the quarter. And the quarter poem goes like this, because the quarter is our biggest coin that we're learning about. It goes like this. Quarter, quarter, big and bold. You're worth 25, I'm told. Should we try that again for the quarter? Here we go. Quarter, quarter, big and bold. You're worth 25, I'm told. So the quarter, like I said, is worth 25 cents. And so I have our quarter book, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about our quarter book today. So I'm going to start on the bottom of our quarter book. You can see it's worth 25 cents, and you can see that there's George Washington on the front. But if I look at the back, this back of the quarter does not look like the quarter that I showed you. So when I was a little girl, our country had a really good idea. They said, you know what? We're going to make special pieces of money to celebrate our states. And so every year or every couple of years, they would introduce a brand new quarter that had a brand new design on it. And so each state had really important things that they wanted, that were special to them, that they wanted to put on their quarter. So our quarter book shows Florida's quarter. So it has palm trees, and it has a spaceship, because a lot of our spaceships that we launch into space, they exit and go up into space from Florida. And there's also a ship. And I'm not very familiar with Florida, so I'm not quite sure why there's a ship on there. But I know that Alaska's quarter has a big grizzly bear on it. And I believe it also has the Big Dipper, which both of those are very important to our state. So when you are going through your piggy banks, you might find some quarters that have George Washington on the front, but they have kind of a funny thing on the back. So as long as they have George Washington on the front, and they say $1/4 on the bottom, then they are a quarter and they are worth 25 cents. I do have a paper that we're going to practice using. This one is a little bit tricky. It's kind of a challenge. This is a challenge paper, and you might need some help from your moms or your dads or a big brother or big sister to do this, because you are going to pretend to go shopping. There are a whole bunch of items up at the top, like if you were shopping in the winter time, and then there is a toy shop on the back for if you were going to a toy shop to buy things. We use money every day to buy things, whether it be gas or groceries or a hamburger from McDonald's. We have to pay for those things with money. That's why learning about what money looks like and how much it's worth is so important. So, as I'm looking at my toy shop paper, if I wanted to buy this robot, I need to be able to read and says, oh, it costs 30 cents. What pieces of money could I use to make 30 cents? That might be kind of tricky. I know I could use 30 pennies because pennies are worth 1. Let's count how many dimes it would take to get 30. Let's count. 10, 20, 30. It would take 3 dimes to make 30 cents. What if we used nickels? Let's see how many nickels we'd need to count to 30. Let's go. We're going to count by 5s for nickels. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So I would have to get 6 nickels to buy that robot. We're going to keep practicing counting with money. I have a few activities that you can do with your family to practice money. There is an activity where you can pretend to make a store, or you can pretend to buy things at your house. You can also sort your money and see if you can find some of these coins that I've been talking to you about this week. I hope that you are having so much fun with money, and I'm really looking forward to hearing and seeing all of your neat responses with what you're doing this week. Have a good day.